QsQ357 and Dendy's Jungle Devos.
Yes.
A.k.a. PUDG. Of course, QsQ on the Legion team, and PUDG will be on the Hellborn side this time. So the blind band's going to take place, and there we go. Just like the first game. Imagine that. We got Wild Soul and Plague Rider coming out from QsQ, and Jeremiah and Ophelia taken care of by PUDG. So,
yes.
What's on that Plague Rider, man?
Yeah, again, like I've talked about, it seems like the Suicide Heroes are the most important for all these teams right now in this metagame. Securing that really strong Suicide Hero. Of course, Plague Rider doesn't have to be played as a Suicide Hero. You can play her or play that hero as like a dual lane and long lane as well. Yeah. We used to see all the time with the Plague Rider Cthulhu. That used to be standard for about 3 months or so. But it is primarily played as a Suicide Hero right now. And like I said, the heroes that are being played as Suicide Heroes are the heroes that are getting the most recognition as of late. Heroes like Bubbles, heroes like Plague, heroes like Tempest that can also be played as a Suicide. Even Tundra can be played as a Suicide. Many different heroes can be played Suicide, and it's important to have that secured on your team. Yeah,
it definitely is, and that has been something we've been highlighting and seeing more and more of course, on the competitive scene as you're talking about. But how about this locking phase? Our first lock happens to be Voodoo Jester. Now, I will say, SQY over here for QsQ actually loves to run Voodoo Jester from what I've seen at least. Again, a little bit of scrimmages that I watched of them, as well as even recent matches. Again, even against TT Esports, I believe it was game number 2, they actually went with a Voodoo Jester. So it's just kind of one of those niche heroes that specifically QsQ likes to play, and again, more specifically SQY over there. But even first lock-worthy apparently. But that's followed up by Aluna Glacius, and then QsQ responds with a Dark Lady Revenant. And I know you have some opinions on Revenant.
Revenant! I love Revenant, man. It's one of my favorite heroes right now. It's very, very strong in that solo role. And the only problem and drawbacks with Revenant is you just don't have a stun. And you don't have initiation with that hero. So when you're thinking about heroes that typically go mid, they have strong stuns, they have good initiation, they have good burst. Now, Revenant has one of those, and that's burst. He has massive, massive burst. By the way, if you go with Geometer's Bane on Revenant, all of your spells do proc to your illusions, and including the E-spell. The E-spell, which makes them, let me just double check on the name.
Invisible, right?
Yeah, well, I want to get the correct, it is Essence Shroud. And when you pop out of the Essence Shroud, it actually reduces their armor by 4. And that actually procs your illusions as well. So all of these things makes her such a huge burst hero. It's just awesome to watch. But again, I said, no stun, no initiation, but still very, very strong, and I hope to see him being played this game.
Yeah, and Draconis is the final lock. So this is a very, very unique lock pool here. I mean, okay, we got 2 heroes, Voodoo Jester, Revenant, that we just never really see. We got our Draconis Dark Lady, the really powerful go-to carries, and then the 2 of the strongest support in the game in Glacius and Aluna. So I'm really curious to see how this lock pool plays out here when it's all said and done. But, of course, to get there, we got to go through the other phases first, starting with the banning phase. And we see QsQ is taking a little bit of time here to decide who they are ultimately going to ban first. It is going to be Moraxis, and now it is up to PUDG to decide who their follow-up ban is going to be. And there we go with Faith. So kind of picking up pace a little bit here. But, man, you know, Revenant, there was one game, I think it was Grand Grant. Actually, you played him for, was it not Grand Grant? It was Korok?
Yeah. Grand Grant would not play Revenant.
Well, that was the Fun in the Sun Gaming. That's what it was. For the North American qualifiers for the DreamHack tournament. This was before your days here when you were still a player. And, yeah, they actually ran that against, I forget against who. But anyways, he ran Revenant, and he did go Geometer's Bane, and you're right. I mean, the burst damage is absolutely insane on that hero if you play more of a solo role and if you get farm on him. So I am very intrigued to see if we do see him. You know, something tells me we may not, but we'll see when it all plays out. But the bans continue. Pebbles is the next ban. There we go, the Tundra, and 2 more now remaining.
Yeah, and to go off on that, Revenant is it's a very, very good hero. Normally, though, one of the things I like to do is go straight for a health lab, because oftentimes if you're farming very well and you do get the Geometer's Bane early, you end up being having it by the time you're like level 13, and you really want to time it to when you get it when you're 16, so you can have your ultimate level 3, and then you can proc it to 2 different things, including yourself, or I should say 3 things total, including yourself. But anyway, enough about Revenant. Draconis also, as you mentioned, was the final lock in that pool. A very, very strong hero. If there's a hero that's been a flavor of the month, or I should say the flavor of the last couple months, it's been this Draconis, and we've seen why.
Flavor of the last events, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen why. I mean, this hero farms pretty much faster than any hard carry out there, arguably. But, yeah, and also has massive amounts of damage in the late game, too, with the you know, something like a Savage Mace picked up on him, as well as proccing with his ultimate. So it's very, very strong.
Yeah, he really has been, and he's gone through a transition. You know, he first came out, and it was teams didn't really use him. Then a couple teams started using him, and he, you know, proved to be really one of the most dominant carry/farmers out there. And so then he started to even be blind banned, and now it seems like he's in a stage of being in that banning phase and not making it past the lock phase, but then eventually being banned. But here, again, as you mentioned, he is locked, so we'll see the potential of him being picked up in the lock-picking phase. But the bans finished. We had Parasite and Tempest, so a couple of junglers there to finish things off between these two teams. And now we're going to look at our first pick. Of course, going to be coming out from QsQ357. So both Parasite and Tempest used the last game are banned. In fact, 4 of those 6 heroes were used last game. Polywog Priest, though, is going to be the first pick coming out here from QsQ.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more Polywog Priest first picks in the last couple days. Not to say that it hasn't been popular before, but again, just very, very strong solo mid hero. On top of that, you know, we think of like Witch Slayer. We think of like maybe even Fade, although of course Fade is banned. It was banned out by PUDG this game. But Polywog is definitely one of the strongest solo mids. Also, those wards are very, very efficient when, you know, trying to push down the base quickly.
Yeah. So we'll see if how or what Polywog Priest brings to the table here in this game. Witch Slayer Behemoth are going to be the follow-up picks coming out from PUDG. A lot of stun potential, of course, coming out there, but we'll see also if Witch Slayer is used more of a solo role or if indeed he is used as a support. And as we constantly talk about, and you specifically, not a huge fan of seeing that, and for good reason, but PUDG, it is ultimately up to them, of course, as far as how they choose to play him. But Behemoth and Witch Slayer, that definitely brings a good amount of crowd control to the table there with those two heroes.
Yeah, and definitely with a number of good supports being in that lock pool, I don't really think that you need to run him as a support right now. And I don't think that there's any place, honestly, for Witch Slayer support, except there's very, very few situations. It has to be in the short lane, in my opinion. You cannot go long lane with Witch Slayer, just simply because Witch Slayer's stun is just, the duration is way too low early levels. But I think we are going to see it in a solo role, and I think that's the most appropriate route here.
Yeah, you definitely hit it on the nail there. You know, talking about the Glacius and the Luna specifically being in that lock pick pool, the fact that they will have the second and third pick out of there. So, yeah, probably going to see a Witch Slayer more in a solo role with that said. Bubbles and Keeper of the Forest are going to be the final 2 picks here for QsQ, though. That's shaping up to be quite the interesting lineup, actually. You know, you figure you got Keeper of the Forest jungle and then a couple solo heroes on Polywog Bubbles. So I'm guessing they're going to go for something probably like a Voodoo Dark Lady or a Voodoo Draconis, or I say Voodoo because, again, it is QsQ, and they even locked him first, but so maybe not, but something tells me that carry support is probably going to be finishing here for QsQ.
They can. It really depends on what they want to do, because say they pick Draconis, well, they still have lots of. There's 3 supports right there, so they can just choose one of them. Say they want one of the supports, well, there's 2 strong carries right there, being Draconis and Dark Lady, so they can choose one of them, unless, you know, PUDG decides to be really rude and pick both Draconis and Dark Lady.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting, by the way. Yeah. But it just really depends on what Q Styles. I'm looking at Styles' name. Oh, they do go for the Dark Lady. So if the 2 supports are taken right now, they don't have to worry, because there's still another very strong one in that pool.
Yeah.
Even Revenant support, by the way, we did talk about how he's a strong solo. He can be played as a support, of course, has no stun. But yeah.
Yeah, but there's the Draconis Luna follow-up. So, yeah, now they're going to just bring Glacius Voodoo Jester, you would think. And, yeah, it is going to be Glacius as the final pick coming up from QsQ. So, unfortunately, Revenant is left there on the board, but perhaps another day. I am too. But, hey, you know, it's up to the teams ultimately. And, you know, there is money on the line and everything, so to each their own. But, no, to finish off there, again, the Draconis Luna, they also did pick up a Master of Arms with their regular final pick. And I'm intrigued to see how Master of Arms performs here for PUDG, being played by Payless, it looks like, for their team. So Master of Arms is kind of one of these unique heroes, of course. Has the most abilities in the game, literally. I think it's like 8 total, so quite a bit to look forward to. But, yeah, it's definitely can be a very versatile hero, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. And to think about, you know, in the very late game stage of this game, if you do have a Draconis with full items and you put that offensive Master's Call onto him, they could just rip through an entire team. In fact, now that I think about it, how fun would it be to watch a Draconis with an Empath ulted inside of him with a Master's Call offensively on Draconis? My God, that would be a crazy amount of damage.
How fun would that be to play against?
I know. It would be so much fun.
That would just make my day. Yeah, no, that would be, God, that would be atrocious. Yeah, Empath Draconis is already strong enough. You're right. You had a Master's Call on top of that, and It's like it's not even stopping between auto attacks. It's just one stream of just fireballs. So we do see the Hellborn team, though. They're going to kind of scout down here. We got 3 of them, Behemoth, Luna, and Master of Arms. They're also using the Courier. I believe they spotted Polywog, and maybe they didn't, actually. Maybe Polywog's style was staying hidden enough. He's going to run past the Sword side, but that was placed by Mega Beaver, though, to block the camp. And in the end, no damage is going to come out from either side. So good job by the Hellborn team right there, able to get the Ward of Sight down, and also getting an idea of perhaps how they're going to lane things. It looks like it's going to be a Master Behemoth lane, actually, as a Luna's probably going to go all the way to the top lane. That'll leave a solo Witch Slayer here in the middle. So lanes are kind of shaping up here, Truff. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I'm really interested of Dark Lady going top in the long lane. Oh,
and booyah! Auto skip pause. That's how we do here on Oncast.
It's pretty badass, if I must say so myself. But anyway, yeah, the top lane with the Dark Lady being the long lane. Are we going to see a rotation coming out? Glacius is still bottom. Maybe just going to rotate mid. I'm not quite sure, but never seen a Dark Lady suicide. I can't tell you that.
Oh, wow, true, yeah.
So now Glacius is making his way mid. Is he going to be walking all the way to top? I'm not quite sure. It can't be a case of, oh, well, that's the lanes, because they already sent Dark Lady to begin with up top there. So that's kind of interesting right there. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But in the bottom lane, we are going to see an aggressive tri-lane down here. Master of Arms is going to be picking up the farm with a Luna Behemoth. Great roamers. I talked about this a long time ago, but a Luna Behemoth, that combination is so deadly and very strong.
Yeah, it's obviously just the very good range fissure stun counter from Behemoth. You know, sets up a good amount of burst damage from Luna with the power throw. And they are roaming to this middle lane, so style on Polywog Priest. He's going to need to start getting stylistic here soon, because he may be in for a herd of trouble. As you do see Behemoth looking to set up that fissure stun, but Polywog Priest is playing somewhat passive. I don't know if he actually spotted them. I mean, they do have a ward aside over here. I don't know if that spotted him, though, so something tells me he's just playing passive because they're missing on the map. We do see Behemoth running up, though. The fissure block is on the wrong side. Really unfortunate right there. Paytop will take a good amount of tower damage as he falls back with his head in shame. So, unfortunate side, or unfortunate fissure stun there with him being on the wrong side, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens. I almost feel like in situations like that, I understand it. Like, it's kind of an awkward position. Also, at level 1, you really have to get it perfectly timed, or else you just simply don't have enough damage. I really feel like in that situation, you kind of have to initiate with the Witch Slayer stun. It seems kind of weird, but I really feel like that's the best way to go. And actually, a Luna Behemoth, they're going to roam up here to the top lane. They realize that Dark Lady is here, and they're like, okay, well, we're just going to screw you up in your long lane, and they're just going to lane up here. And I think that's going to be quite successful for them.
Yeah, and again, Keeper of the Forest, you know, he's not really the most aggressive jungler at the same time. Right. You know, he's got his little train, so he can do some blocking and to be fancy with that, but by no means is he your Tempest or Ophelia or Parasite even. So he is going to start heading to his own jungle, it looks like. He realizes that adjustment, and in fact, everyone's going to start making some moves. Dark Lady already ported down here. And Bubbles is actually going to try to assist for a kill on a Master of Arms. Will they be able to come through? Yes, they will. So they get the Bloodlust kill as a result of that. Jonas a fan, nice take cover at the last tower attack right there, and he'll survive in the end as well. So, you know, as you stated, it was kind of odd, and I was just about to say, you know, they just kind of wasted a good amount of time there because they were forced to change. But in the end, I mean, it set up a Bloodlust kill, actually, at the bottom lane. So that kind of worked out, you can say, for QsQ357.
Yeah, definitely. And then the roam is still continuing with this Luna Behemoth. There's the Hex. There's the stun to follow. Can Behemoth and Luna get here in time? The stun does hit. Is it going to be enough burst? One more auto attack. Oh, one more. Miss. Wow. Oh, no, he tried to get the bottle charges in time. Luckily, Witch Slayer's attack did not miss for ultimate defense sake, but very, very good kill. Much needed there. Good roam from P-Top and Mega Beaver.
Yeah, that was, you and I both were like, is that going to miss? No, he hits, and obviously got the kill to Polywog Priest. So, but yeah, so that adjustment has been made, and again, it's set up at least an assist here for Dark Lady. Now Nox is just going to continue to farm down here, and to say the least, obviously her creep farm isn't necessarily taking off by any means, but it is solid enough, and on top of that assist, her goal per minute is just dandy. Now, this is going to put Draconis also in a better spot, you can even figure as well, going down a straight-up 1 versus 1 here, as he's going to be matched up, of course, against Bubbles, and already with being in the level advantage, on top of some decent creep farm himself. To say the least, Draconis should be, by all means, be fine up here at the top lane with his farm. And, of course, we'll keep a close eye on that as it tends to kind of get out of hand quickly as this game progresses. By the way, I have that bug. I guess it's just a bug. I need to restart or something because SQY still has his microphone open on my screen.
Guys.
So he's still communicating to the team, apparently. He's one long breath of telling them what to do. But Yeah, so the adjustment has been made, and things are calming down a little bit when it comes to sitting in the lanes. Polywalk Priest is going to do some good job with rune control here. So he's going to guess top, but it's going to be bottom, so not so good a job of rune control. However, Behemoth will finish on Glacius here in the meantime. Power throw comes out, but Glacius is a little bit too quick. Actually freezes Behemoth in range of the tower. Oh, can he get the Glacial Blast off? Nice job with the stun by Aluna, and I believe Behemoth is going to survive as a result. Wow, that was so close to a turnaround. That would have been embarrassing for Behemoth right there.
I mean, they were actually roaming on that Glacius where I questioned why Behemoth took so long to stun in the first place. He only stunned right when Glacius was actually in tower range, or when they were in tower range. So very, very late on that stun right there. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah. Maybe he was looking for a block and just couldn't find an opening, but I don't think you were going to find a block in that very open, wide area. So kind of some questionable decision-making right there. But this adjustment is definitely going to prove good for PUDG, actually, because I feel like these are the lanes that they wanted to begin with. I think they expected the Dark Lady to be in the short lane, and they just wanted to try that against it, and knowing that Keeper cannot really help out until he hits level 6. So.
Yeah. Yeah, this does put Master of Arms in a suicide lane role, though, and, you know, you talk about all these suicide heroes, and at least to me, Master of Arms doesn't seem like your typical suicide hero, but honestly, it seems like he's actually managing to do, okay, of course, again, he did a Bloodlust, so that was a result of the exchange that happened and whatnot, but he's playing fairly aggressive here, and seems like he's at least holding his own here against the Dark Lady at this bottom lane. He is level 5, so Payless, you know, not doing too shabby here as a suicide Master of Arms at the bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely. Aluna Behemoth still roaming around. I think they were just healing up and maybe trying to get a kill in the mid now, but they really shouldn't leave. I mean, yes, he is doing a good job down here, and they don't even have a ward, so it's not like he has, you know, vision of a Glacius coming to gank, or I mean, of course he knows that Keeper's not 6, but he's still playing, like, kind of aggressive up here. He doesn't know where Glacius is, so kind of some interesting plays. But nonetheless, he's going to be fine. Glacius is not in range to gank. He doesn't even know that, though. But Behemoth and Aluna, they are setting up mid. There is an invisible Witch Slayer right here. Style actually has a Ward of Revelation. He knew he was there, but nonetheless still gets a kill. So kind of some interesting play right there. He knew that Witch Slayer was invisible, but it still kind of stayed up there just a little bit too far. So good kill coming out. Actually, Mega Beaver gets the last hit.
Yeah, and, well, obviously, that was a case of Ultimate Defend. He used the Silver Bullet even before the Graveyard Sun. If this was a pub, that that would definitely never happen. But, you know, being a competitive game, he's just doing enough to they want to get the kill. That's what matters. He's not here to kill still. He did all his upfront damage, and, of course, set up a beautiful power throw coming out from Aluna. Then, of course, that as a result, Mega Beaver got credit for the kill because that how the rotation worked. But, again, you getting the guaranteed kill, that's what matters. And that's what was accomplished right there. Now, Aluna Behemoth, they're going to continue to roam. They're going to come to the bottom lane now. You do have a level 2 Glacius as well as a level 6 Dark Lady down here. Well, look at Behemoth. Behemoth is still level 1 himself. However, Hasted Witch Slayer running in again. It doesn't have the Silver Bullet, so keep that in mind. But, of course, he will be able to bring a Graveyard Stun to the table as well as that miniaturization. But Glacius just hugging the trees here in the forest. He knows something is up. I believe they had a Ward of Sight here, but I guess it just despawned recently. But they definitely know something's up, of course. And they are continuing to play very passive. Dark Lady kind of going up a little bit. Now, the interesting thing with Dark Lady Inner Blink ability, remember, it cannot go around like a Fissure Stun or through a Fissure Stun. It will just attempt to go all the way around, so it could still be very powerful against her. But in the end, she's going to be fine, it looks like, and I don't think this gank is going to work out. So
yeah, and in the meantime, Polywalk does drop his wards in the mid. And this tower is going to get very, very close to being destroyed here unless the glyph comes out, unless some resistance comes out. But nope, that's a tower push. So that's a very, very good response coming out from Q Squad, using that knowledge that they are being ganked and using lots of resources from PUDG to be able to push that mid tower.
Yeah, Style making some big plays there. As he said, I'm not sure what he's trying to do right here. He tongue-ties a Witch Slayer with no damage really on him, and now he's going to get turned around on here. In comes a Fissure Stun. Polywalk Priest is in a lot of trouble. Ooh. Oh, he may live in the end. The Fissure Stun kind of blocking them a little bit as well as a Creep Wave. And I believe, we're going to see a Graveyard. 1 second. Just land it. No, Stutter Step there. Maybe try to juke or something. But yes, he will get taken out. And Ultimate Defend gets credit for the kill. Glacius now in a lot of trouble as well. And Glacius will also fall. So it ends up being a double tap for Witch Slayer when it's all said and done. But like I said from the very beginning, I really don't really know what Style was thinking right. I mean, the tongue-tied, there was zero follow-up even nearby. So, and his wards were on cooldown. So yeah, it was just a silly move right there from Style. So
yeah, I don't really get it either. I can't really speak on his behalf. I'm not sure there was really no reason to be aggressive like that, especially when after he held him, he had no mana at all. So with a tongue tie, I should say. So yeah, kind of questionable decision right there, but good response coming out from PUDG nonetheless. And in the meantime, we haven't really talked about Draconis all that much, but he is of course free farming in the top lane against his Bubbles. Bubbles actually getting a surprisingly good creep farm. Oh, there's the gank attempt actually coming out, but look at that W spell. It is actually maxed out. That is called the Blazing Flight, and that gives him so much movement speed, able to evade ganks quite easily.
Yeah, you saw right there. The Shell Surf was attempted, as you said, by Bubbles, but Blazing Flood activated by Draconis, and he was more than ready for the possible attempt at a gank. So the teacher over there on Draconis is fine, and he is level 8, so this is, you know, a level 8, level 9 really starts to get around that point of starting to roam around a little bit and, well, not really roam, but go to his jungle, you know, take out the stacks and whatnot. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Dark Lady, a little bit of trouble. She's just going to charging strikes away, and it will be enough, it looks like. You got an offensive Master's Call used on himself, a Master of Arms. Is he going to get a range for maybe a power shot right here, or the Forked Lightning? Will he go for it? There's the Forked Lightning, and down goes Dark Lady. So good chase by Payless right there on Master of Arms. They get the kill into Dark Lady. That is now her first death of the game. Port's coming to the top end in the meantime because some big initiation chance. Polywar Priest runs into Draconis, who misses the Dragon Flame, actually. That's a pretty big deal because that could have been a guaranteed kill if he hit that. However, still may be a kill. In comes the support. Behemoth is running in. You see Bubbles is like, there's not much I can do. He's going to Shell Surf. He will not pour with it. He does have a Kelp Field, actually. What took him so long to use that is beyond me. They're both going to survive. The Blazing Flight sitting on top of the Dragon Flame on Keeper of the Forest. He puts the root out. They get a couple of kills, but Bubbles will fall. Now Keeper of the Forest is in a lot of trouble, actually, as Witchslayer is running in. The final auto attack for Draconis picks up a double tap, and it definitely was a 1-5 for PUDG in the end. Yeah, it seems like the Legion team having a couple of delay moments here.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting just whole thing, especially when you mentioned the Kelp Field was up and he didn't use it very late. I do want to say one funny thing, although I don't think it really mattered all that much. But, you know, Keeper of the Forest, of course, does not have boots right now, so she's very slow. Try to get in range to use the ultimate to get a good spread on it. And I believe the Draconis, the Q spell right there called the Dragon Flame, actually pushed him into the rest of his team and able to get a good ultimate right after. I think he still would have gotten it on the very, very edge, but it just was funny to watch.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so still set up the kill, but like I said, in the end, I mean, that definitely worked out for the better of PUDG, especially since Draconis got a double tap. It is now 2-0-1 as a result. So his GPM, it is starting to creep up there. He's going to dive on a Bubbles here at the top lane. You see Jonas the Fan just running for his life as he takes a little bit of burn on the ass at the end, but he'll be fine as far as surviving goes. But yeah, so I have been looking at the jungle a little bit every now and then, and I still have yet to see any stacking going on, and that's something we like to talk about, especially with Draconis. You know, seeing that he just really just burns through those literally in a matter of seconds, and his farm just vastly increases. So he's going to attempt to do a pull. No, I don't know what he's doing right here. I guess he's just being delivered an item. Actually, a Ward of Sight, which he's going to place himself. Looks like it's going to be a lane Ward of Sight here, as he's going to go over. But for PUDG's sake, you would hope that the support starts to maybe get up here, specifically this Aluna, and start stacking up the jungle a little bit. For Draconis, it just really starts to take off as he continues to do. Bottom push, though, in the meantime, Dark Lady is here. She's got her Sustainer of Boots, finish the power throw, cuts through the trees. It spots her. Fidget Stun isn't going to be used yet, so it's going to be used on top of that power shot. There's the Emerald Lightning Stun. There's the Fidget Stun finally coming out, and down goes Dark Lady. So Q Squad, they're definitely finding themselves a little bit behind here early on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just seems like PUDG is playing a lot more actively. They're being a lot more aggressive, and it's working well. I mean, Aluna Behemoth, that's what you can do. And they get a tower kill as well, and Draconis still able to prevent this tower from being pushed. He's still up here. The Aluna Red Snipe is coming out, but it's not really going to hit anybody. Yeah, they're doing a really good job this game. It's definitely a different team this game than the last one.
Yeah, it is. The wards were even used by Paulo Priest at the top lane, by the way. He pushed Butcher. I think Draconis actually was able to get some farm out of the wards even. And as you said, the tower was not taken out. Glacius in the meantime in the middle lane. Silver Bullet not even necessary. The final auto attack comes out, and there goes a kill on to SQY playing that Glacius, who is still, or he's level 4. Well, yeah, still level 4, and then you got a Behemoth who's level 5 now, so at least Glacius is officially the lowest level in the game. Draconis is in a little bit of trouble, though. You got the invisible Polywar Priest jumping in. There's the Shellstar. Ports are coming in. Is it going to be in time? Keeper of the Force has ready to go, but there's a defensive Master's Call, and here's our turnaround attempt coming out for a punch. That power throw just snipes down Bubbles. The Graveyard Stone will miss Keeper. He was invis anyways, and the damage was done. They got a Revelation down, but again, Keeper of the Forest is just a little bit too far away. But, man, I mean, Master's Call, again, it shows you how powerful that ability can be. Even a level 1 ultimate from Master of Arms has just absorbed so much damage right there for Draconis and easily set up the turnaround.
Yeah, I really like players that are really, really active with that Master's Call. It does have a huge, vastly huge turn potential. And props to Tiore. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong.
Tiore. I think Tiore actually makes more sense.
Props to him. Most players, actually, when they got initiated like that, even with the defensive Master's Call, he was getting quite low. he turned immediately right when he knew that the other team was running away. So it was just like instant response. So, you know, maybe he's got some 240 APM, I'm not quite sure, but just nonetheless, very, very good response from him, especially.
Yeah, and again, he's just going to sit here in the jungle. He's going to stack it up a little bit himself. But this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, how it's, you know, the fact that he has to do it himself, a little bit unfortunate for him. And, you know, he is still farming 363 gold per minute, which is the top in the game by quite a bit right now. So, again, good news there definitely for PUDG, but it's just one of those cases where it just could be better, it seems like, you know, if Aluna, if Behemoth was up here, you know, stacking up the jungle at least a little bit. And again, maybe they have been, maybe I've just been missing it. I do apologize if I have been, but from what I've been seeing at least, it doesn't seem like that there's been a whole lot of that going on. But still, like I said, Draconis is getting closer to that 400 GPM mark now. And as usual with the Draconis, it just is looking very, very scary here, specifically for QsQ357. Portal Key Witch there, that's also another scary item to deal with. He'll hex the real bubbles right there. The Silver Bullet on top of the Forked Lightning. And Payless will get credit for the kill playing that Master of the Arm. So now they have to deal with a Portal Key Witch there who's level 11 on top of that, by the way. So, of course, level 2 Silver Bullet. News is not adding up to on the good side here for QsQ357, and it's going to get worse apparently. Yeah, so maybe not. Actually, they got some numbers down here. But Behemoth, Witchslayer, and Aluna, or I thought so. Aluna's actually going to run into them here. Matchless Call is going to be used. There's a tongue-tied, though. And Aluna should be taken out here when it's all said and done. And there we go. No, oh my God, she gets herself killed by neutral creeps.
And in the meantime, they get a tower kill from Paulus in the mid. Wow, that has got to sting. That has got to sting. All those resources used to kill her as well. They get a tower kill in the mid, and also actually Poly might get dove here in the top. We did mention that Portal Key onto the Witchslayer. He does not have enough mana for the ultimate, nor does he have it off cooldown. But nonetheless, I still think, yep, they're going to get a skill. It's going to be quite easy. Witch needs to blink in right now with the stun. Poly does get the Hex onto Draconis, but there's the stun to follow. A very, very good kill. A TP, or a Homecoming Stone, is here, but it's just a Keeper of the Forest. Bubbles does come in. She does not port with a Shell Surf. But yeah, very, very good exchange right there. Getting the kill, or sorry, getting the tower kill mid, having the Aluna suicide to the creeps, and then getting yet another kill in top lane. So things are looking really, really good for PUDG.
You know, that Blazing Flat ability is so used to seeing it as a farming tool or just increasing the speed, but we saw right there, he was sitting on top of Polywog Priest with the Blazing Flight activated, and Polywog's life was just dropping in a stream, just quick stream there. Again, it just shows you how powerful that ability can be, you know, even used in that sense of doing some damage on the hero. And by the way, Draconis is going the typical build as you would expect, going for the nullstone first item, which he's close to getting. Aluna in the meantime, Master's Call going to be used on him defensively, and that may be the saving grace. Bubbles still wants a kill, but he ain't going to get no kill. In comes a Dragon Flame. Behemoth was also there with a Fissure Stun, and Bubbles will fall. So this Master of Arms, Payless is doing a fantastic job. He's been here at this bottom lane, I believe, this whole game. But he's been involved in so much because of that global ultimate of his with that Master's Call. So you got to give him a lot of props so far.
I know, he seems to be using it off like every 60 seconds. That's the cooldown, right? Yeah, 60. And actually level 3 is 40. I did not even know that. I thought it was a static 60.
I like the range, 99999. It's like,
yeah. Can they just put one more 9 on it, please?
Seriously.
No, yeah, he seems to be using it very liberally and just off of cooldown every single time. And it's really done work, so very good job by Paulus this game.
Yeah, he is no doubt doing fantastic again on a hero that we don't get to see quite often on the competitive scene, every now and then, so let alone performed well, so definitely props to him. Draconis getting a little bit low here against the triple stacked Ancients, but he will eventually finish them off in, well, look at his GPM now. 455 gold per minute. He just finishes Nullstone as well. Top tower does finally go down in favor of the Legion team. You see the wards used. Yeah, that's the second set of wards that were used at the top tower. Finally enough to get a kill, but hey, they got the kill. Middle lane in the meantime, Dark Lady actually gets picked up to Witchslayer. I missed that action. I was too busy watching Polywog Priest running around in circles.
And the snipe from Mega Beaver.
And, oh, wow, yeah, Mega Beaver sniped. So that's what ultimately set up the kill, or got the kill, I should say. Bubbles chasing out Behemoth now. Kelfield coming in. It may stun him. There's another Master's Call, though. And their turnaround is starting to happen. Bubbles in a lot of trouble. The Dragon Flame going to be used. Not enough for the kill just yet. There's a final auto attack. Gets the kill. Draconis just standing his ground. The Cataclysmic Assault again. It's just so much damage all over the place. Keeper of the Forest, the sole survivor. The Blazing Flight is taking him down despite being invisible. And I believe he's actually going to get away when it's all said and done. You see the portal key actually used right there. So Keeper of the Forest has a portal key, by the way. Yeah. But damage obviously done in favor of the Hellborn team, and Draconis, even with the Nullstone alone, already showing off his potential.
Yeah, both Polywog and Keeper of the Forest have purchased their portal keys quite at the same, right at the same time. But the initiation was good. It started very good. Molly to follow with that ultimate from Keeper of the Forest, but it just simply wasn't enough. Draconis, too much turn potential, too much match damage at this point. And it's only going to get worse once he starts getting those damage items up on him. And then, of course, again, the Master's Call, the defensive Master's Call, coming into play every single little skirmish. I mean, really good heads-up plays from Paulus.
Yeah, he's definitely very deserving of all the credit that we're giving him this game. The chart, again, a chart we don't look at really, as I keep on saying enough, but the damage chart, the hero damage chart, is very interesting in this game. You look at Draconis, he's leading the way at 19% overall hero damage done. Again, for a hero that's just farming so much and getting so many creep kills, the fact that he's done 19% of the hero damage only 19 minutes into the game is absolutely ridiculous. And you compare that to a Dark Lady who's at 1%. Literally 1% hero damage done. Very, very minimal coming out from her as far as being, you know, of assistance when it comes to killing heroes and everything. So, yeah, that's definitely more bad news to kind of rub it into Q Squad. But here in this game, of course, they are up 1-0 here in the series. So that is the good news. But they're definitely falling behind by quite a bit here in this game, and the signs of hope is there ain't many of them as early on as it is even. So we'll see how they continue to pick up. Now, Dark Lady does have the Rune Cleaver actually. She chooses to go that even before finishing her Steam Boots. So, or maybe even Ghost Marchers. But actually, Polywalk Priest going to jump in right here onto a Luna. Catches her getting a little bit aggressive, but the War Trap was not successful. She's able to squeak on out of there, and there's yet again the defensive Master's Call. And Luna will survive. So
that was kind of an interesting ward. It actually looked like it did trap.
Yeah, I thought it did, yeah.
But yeah, that's really awkward. If you actually look at the way they're set up, it's like 4, and then blah, blah, blah. So yeah, kind of interesting setup right there. But ward trap, unfortunately, that is unsuccessful. But yet again, even if it was, the defensive Master's Call was there right on par. There's some initiation on the bubbles. Just gets absolutely massacred right up there. Wow. Jonas fan not having a fun time right now.
Yeah, he is 1-6-3 here in this game. So he's been involved in every kill, actually. All 4 kills here for the Legion team. But, you know, having the 6 deaths.
Which, by the way, is 4-19.
Yeah, 4-19 hero kill score. Not the prettiest to score here, specifically for Q Squad, of course. Nullfire Blade just purchased, actually, on Master of Arms. So back-to-back games to Nullfire. It's level 2, actually. I didn't even notice that. But he gets a level 2 Nullfire Blade. It seems like out of nowhere. So we've been praising, you know, his assistance this whole game. But his farm is also pretty solid as well. 382 gold per minute, so he goes a Nullfire route, and especially on Master of Arms, Nullfire Blade is actually a very effective tool because of the rapid fire ability. With his E spell, when he switches to rapid fire, it's just chain mana burn like crazy, and that can be very, very annoying to deal with. Now he's going to get jumped right here. In comes everything. Are we going to see Roots even come out? Not even necessary. The tongue tie comes out, and well, a little bit of revenge coming out there for Q Squad at least.
Yeah, that is a very, very good pickup kill. But now that you mentioned about the Nullfire Blade, it seems to be quite standard on Master of Arms. Now, we don't see Master of Arms that often in competitive play. But I actually prefer to see something like a Shrunken Head first, or maybe even a Nullstone to increase his farm, make him a little bit more effective in team fights. Because even right now, though, yes, they're having a good game, and they're definitely at a significant lead. It's going to be hard for Master of Arms to actually just sit there and pummel auto attacks into a team fight practically. Now, in the much later game or later stages of the game, I think that's very, very useful. But the one thing to note here is actually there's a number of spells that can be dispelled from that Nullfire Blade. There's the Tree Ultimate. Yeah. There is the Silence from the Dark Blades of Dark Lady. Yeah. There's the Hexes and the spells and the Ice Imprisonment from Glacia. So that being said, I actually love the pickup this early.
I think the Dark Lady's a big one. I mean, the fact that you could take her out of her element in those team fights is pretty huge. Luna's in a lot of trouble here. The War Trap this time is successful. Yep. And this time it will get the kill. So Polywalk Priest again getting a little bit of revenge there himself. And so some good movement going on here from the Legion team. That was the one thing we're kind of even joking about a little bit right there, is the fact that they are so far behind in hero kills. And in these last minute or so, they've managed to pick up a couple more hero kills, so good for them. And Dark Lady is farming away here in the jungle. Again, she's had that Rune Cleaver now for a little bit. She's finished her Steam Boots on top of that. And her GPM is showing as a result. She's up to 345 now and counting. So, and I have noticed some decent stacking going on here, at least on the Legion side. Draconis, though, he's level 16 here, and he's going to port back, and yep, he right-clicks the Shrunken Head. No big deal. So big, well, again, big deal though, kind of here for PUDG. Master of Arms on top of both Keeper and Bubbles. He doesn't even realize it though, for good reason, because they're invisible. Of course, see right there, Keeper of the Forest comes out, Portal Keys away though, and she should be fine in the end. But Bubbles needs to be a little bit careful here that he doesn't get caught out. He still has plenty of invisible time left, though, with 30 seconds, and Master of Arms will just continue to farm away. But yeah, like I was saying, though, I think the big thing, especially that Dark, if you purge off her Dark Blades, her Charging Strikes buff, I mean, that could just really take her out of her element, like I said, in those team fights as far as amplifying her damage. So, but yeah, all around, yeah, very, very powerful item to have here on the Hellborn team. He is under 1,000 life still, though, so yeah, he's fairly squishy.
Yeah, I definitely think a Shrunken Head is going to be strong. You can use the Shrunken Head for yourself to get out of a Keeper ultimate. You can use a Nullifier Blade on someone else to help them. So I definitely think the Shrunken Head is a must here. Also against Bubbles, against Dark Lady. It's just a perfect item in this game, and I'm sure that Draconis is going to be getting that. Actually has it completed as well as another 1,200 gold, sitting at, by the way, 530 gold per minute. My god, this hero just never seems to have a bad game.
No, he does not. Top tower goes down in favor of the Hellborn team, so good for them. However, the middle secondary tower is being pressured. A lot of ports coming in, though, including Witchslayer, who portal keys in on a Bubbles. Graveyards are going to be used. There's that fidget stun, and Bubbles will melt to the ground, and they deny the tower when it's all said and done. So very, very good sequence of events right there coming out from PUDG and Dendi's Jungle Devos. Dark Lady will push the bottom lane in the meantime. She does take a Hex from Witchslayer as far as the Graveyard Stun, but now the counter on Witchslayer. Again, another War Track. Oh no, but there's a defensive Master's Call yet again from Master of Arms. Is this still going to be enough? It's so close. It's not. Yes, they will snipe out the Witchslayer right there. So good job coming out from Polywog Priest. Good attempt, of course, from Master of Arms, but the better play by the Legion team. So you see Dark Lady also going to the jungle. Look at those stacked camps right there. She actually just increased her farm quite a bit. She's up to 400 gold per minute. So again, definitely still very impressed by Draconis, but Dark Lady does continue to rise. She did go with Firebrand with her first item choice, and I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but what do you think about that?
I actually don't mind it. I think Firebrand is actually a very, very good item. It helps you farm very, very fast. Just the maximum mobility, the attack speed, it just adds so much. So if you know you're going to be in like a little bit more of a passive game, I think it's a fine pickup. Obviously, the Shrunken Head is a must here against a Draconis, against a Witch, against a Behemoth, who, by the way, is getting near and very, very close to that portal key himself. You know, that Shrunken Head is definitely a must. But I think if you're just going to be farming and trying to secure the late game, which they need to at this point, I think a Firebrand is a fine pickup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a. Again, that's definitely what I was getting at, though. The Shrunken Head pickup just seems like it'd be so powerful yet again in a game like this, but that makes sense. Obviously, trying to increase his farm a little bit in more of a passive game, even.
I think the reason behind it too is if you go for a straight Shrunken Head right now, do you really think even with a Shrunken Head on Dark Lady right now that you could actually take the whole team? I don't think they could. I think they're going to need more items on Dark Lady. So,
true.
That being said, I think Dark Lady just wants to exceed her farm a little bit more before she goes for that Shrunken Head, because you can't farm faster with a Shrunken Head. You can with a Firebrand.
Now, the Han gods are upset right now because Draconis is not going the typical build. He went Shrunken Head, he went Nullstone. He builds a Firebrand. What is he thinking? The typical build is the Savage Mace. I have no clue what Tiori is thinking. No, but on a realistic, on a real point, though, what do you make of that?
I actually think we normally see the Geometer's Main before Savage Mace. I want to say normally that's what I actually see, but either way, I think...
You just ruined my joke.
Okay. Am I in a derp moment?
No. Yeah, I mean, well, I thought it was actually Savage Mace as the third item pickup, but I'm saying that if it is Geometer's Bane, then my joke is completely ruined. So.
Oh.
Thanks, asshole.
Yeah.
Conqueror got killed
What's
there, by
he
the
doing?
way. Top tower got killed. That's what I was looking for, Tralf. Yay. Things are happening, though, and including this big tower push at the top lane. Look at this by Keeper of the Forest. Soul's Bulwark is doing a lot of work up here, so they get the secondary tower kill and taking out the base tower down about half life. So good push right there. But anyways,
yeah. to touch on the Geometer's Bane, though, it's actually quite good against having both Shrunken Head and Geometer's Bane is very effective against the Keeper. One of the worst things is, you want to initiate a team fight and you pop your Shrunken Head as the latest possible time you can to get that full duration off, so that no one can hex you. But then, bam, Keeper uses that ultimate, and so you're like, now you feel useless because by the time the Keeper ultimate's down, you got maybe 1-2 seconds left, depending on how much time you have on your Shrunken Head. So the other thing way to combat that is if you have both Shrunken Head and Geometer's Bane, so you can charge in with that Shrunken Head activated, be immune to all the spells. The Keeper ultimate comes out, but then you can still use that Geometer's Bane to pop out of it. So it's a very, very good combination against the Keeper of the Forest.
True, yeah, and that actually, definitely makes sense there, especially Keeper of the Forest. Draconis is, speaking of Keeper of the Forest, he's in a little bit of trouble here. You got Keeper and Bubble sitting on top. I think they're waiting for one more person to try to get up here at least, but I don't know if it's going to happen in time. They need to make something happen soon here if they want to get this kill. You see Draconis is just continuing to farm. You could just... okay. I mean, they're not even going to attempt it. So I don't know if he does have a token of life, but he has a shrunken head. So maybe they were worried that he could even turn it around, which honestly, I wouldn't be surprised being Draconis after all. But yeah, they did not take advantage of a possible opportunity. However, we do got Darklead now running up here as well. They're really trying to find this Draconis now, but I think Draconis really realizes something is up, and he's going to fall back before too much pressure is put on top of him. He has another 2,600 gold saved up, by the way. So he is very close now to finishing that Geometer's Bane, of course, and the fact that we're not even 30 minutes in, again, continues to be ridiculous. But
speaking of Geometer's Bane, Dark Lady did go for a Geometer's Bane.
Yeah, she finishes that, yeah.
I have to say, I just absolutely do not like that. Really
Wait, we were talking about this earlier. You said the Firebrand.
Oh, were you talking about Dark Lady?
Who did you think I was
I
talking
thought you were
about?
talking about Draconis, because you said the fire. Okay.
Draconis didn't even have it at that point.
Well, you said going for the Savage Mace.
Oh my God! Now I'm all kinds of confused. Okay, so Dark Lady picked up a Firebrand. So you don't like that?
No, the Firebrand I liked to increase his farm, but
so
completing it into a Geometer's Bane is
that
bad.
Makes sense. Okay.
But when you were saying Savage Mace, I thought you were talking about this.
No. Okay, then we're on the same track then. Okay, so you're fine with the Firebrand, but the fact that she finished it is what you're
right. No, yeah, the Firebrand is fine. And actually, I didn't think that she was going to make it into Geometers. I thought she was going to make it into the Frostburn, which we always see. But the fact that even if she did that, I wouldn't approve of that. I thought just the Firebrand just to help her farm, not completing the Frostburn, and then going for a Shrunken Head. And even after completing this Geometers, going for a Whispering Helm, just to pick that up. I just don't like. You're just going to die to all this magic damage.
She's going for pure passive right here.
She's going to die to all this magic damage. It's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Especially Geometer's Bane. I hate having images when you have massive AoE. Things like Draconis, things like Behemoth, even the Master of Arms. I mean, all those heroes, except for maybe Witch. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah, that definitely, I agree with you there, really 100% with the Dark Hoodie going the Whispering Helm. But again, like I was saying, though, I think that really makes a statement that knocks here a Dark Hoodie. In fact, Dark Hoodie in a lot of trouble right here, gets caught by Witch. A Silver Bolt already is. There's a stop from Behemoth. That Fidget Stun coming out. The lockdown just continuing one after the other. Seems like a good 5 or 6 seconds. She was completely locked down. And down she goes. So to be fair, even if she had a Shrunken Head there, probably was dead anyways. But yeah, definitely a good gank set up there by the Hellborn team, of course. And they get another kill. So Nox, though, like I was just about to say, it seems like she's playing for more than just the pure passive. I'm going to just have to out-farm this Draconis when it's all said and done going into the late game stage. You know, I think going an item like Whispering Helm definitely justifies that kind of logic there, but will it pay off in the end? It is tough to say. They're going to push this middle tower in the meantime, but as we talked about earlier, look at the top tower being pressured here by Keeper of the Forest and Glacius, actually, and it has a chance of dropping, or no, it's not. Behemoth jumps in with his new portal key. Glacius now getting trapped with a Fissure Stun. In comes Draconis, and Glacius is going to burn, baby, burn. So good job by the Hellborn team. They did get the middle tower kill, and they end up saving the base tower when it's all said and done.
Yeah, Draconis is farming so fast right now, 600 gold per minute. But yeah, I want to mention that kill in the mid, Dark Lady really shouldn't have been up that far. But at the same time, I mean, Aluna, by the way, has had a bound eye for quite some time, and just the map control is in their favor. They do only have 2 wards up, but you know, actually there is one ward up coming up from SQY up here in the top rune, but it's just simply not enough, especially with the tower kills that PUDG has. The tower kill is in favor, believe it or not, for Q Squad, but nonetheless, it just feels like they have complete control of the map right now, and then having that bound die makes it very, very easy to do that.
Well, yeah, you talked about the tower's control in favor of the Legion team. I mean, a lot of that has to do with Keeper of the Forest. You got to give Keeper of the Forest credit. Malay here actually has been doing a very solid job for Q Squad. He's farming 327 gold per minute, and he's been a big factor in these tower pushes. Like I said earlier, I mean, as you see here, the tower at the top lane in the base has almost been killed mainly because of him. So, you know, he's kind of that saving grace moment, you could say, you know, really putting enough distraction onto this Hellborn team to buy time for Dark Lady to kind of make that comeback. And, you know, I pulled up the damage chart again just out of curiosity, and it still basically remains kind of the same deal. You got Draconis leading the way at 16%, and then you have Dark Lady sitting there at 1% hero damage done. So she continues to really be completely uninvolved in these team fights, and it's the exact opposite for Draconis, who just continues to farm alongside it. So another 3,200 gold saved up on Draconis.
Yeah.
Keeper of the Forest trying again, though, at the top lane.
I feel like Draconis plays out similar to an FA. It's a hero that farms very, very quickly. It's a ranged hero. It does lots of kind of AoE damage with the volley and the ultimate. But it's also a hero that can carry and can be very active at all stages of the game, kind of like Draconis.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you don't see Draconis very active because you want to constantly utilize the farm that you can with all your spells early on, but it still has the potential. It's not like we're seeing this Darkly. And actually, in the meantime, Polywall gets initiated here. He is definitely going to die. Even the ultimate coming out from Witchslayer, kind of unnecessary, but nonetheless, they want to secure that kill and then maybe get back and then just increase their farm even further. But yeah, the Draconis is just, man, I can't stress enough how dominating of a performance this hero has had in the last few weeks, if not months.
Yeah, it's been a couple months. I know it's just flying by so quickly, isn't it, Trelf? But yeah, it's been a couple months really, and Draconis is, like I said, he's even at that either blind ban or regular banning phase. Now this game he happened to be locked, and again, I do find that intriguing. I talked about this with Moraxis the other day. He's kind of a hero that he seems to make it past the locking phase, but then he'll always be banned. Draconis, I think, is definitely fitting into that level lately as well. But this game happened to be locked, and sure enough, was picked up by PUDG. And you know, kind of, I guess the reasoning, kind of thinking of that, is that even both teams, it's a case of, because locking a hero like that, obviously, it can be a little bit dangerous, especially if you're the second pick, you know, because you could give it up to the other team if they choose to take him with the first pick. So I think it's more of a case of both teams kind of being scared of those heroes, that they would just rather not see it altogether. But anyways, whatever the reason, we do see Draconis here. Triple stack and those double stacked Ancients, but they're just going to be cleared up as a team, actually, by the Hellborn side. Draconis is going to run into Keeper of the Forest, but he'll portal key away before enough pressure is put out. 5,000 gold saved up on Draconis. I think Savage Mace is probably going to be the next in line now. And Energizer just purchased on Master of Arms, who also has a shrunken head. I don't even know if we mentioned that.
Yes. Oh, that's one. His items are just big.
Beautiful.
The biggest trial stamp of approval coming out.
Get the
right
biggest
now.
stamp out there. Go to the store right now.
Big seal of approval coming out from Master of Arms. We used to see, when we'd see Master of Arms kind of splash on the scene here and there, we would always see Energizer on him. And now that it's been buffed, it's just even better.
Yeah.
And he listened to me, of course, getting that shrunken head. And he's going to have a lot in these team fights to do. And now, of course, I did mention earlier that that Master's Call is a 40-second cooldown. I still can't believe that. I thought it was 60-second static, but it's actually 40 seconds. So he's going to be able to even use that multiple times, I feel like, in a team fight if it gets long and drawn out.
Well, that's the other thing about Master of Arms, too. And again, he's on his blue, so I don't know the exact number, but I believe the acid ability, the one where he throws a cannon on the ground, the acid goes all over to the minus armor ability. It's a good amount of minus armor that's being applied in those team fights. And, of course, for a hero like Draconis, that's going to be very, very beneficial, especially now that he did eventually purchase that Savage Mace. So, yeah, he's going to be just a right-click auto-attack turret as he comes to be every single time we see him. It seems like, say, a Master of Arms is proving to be a very, very useful hero for this team, no doubt, in this game specifically. So, again, an odd, not really an odd hero to see, just not as picked up as many others, but obviously proving to be, again, a very solid pickup choice here for PUDG when it's all said and done. Portal key away from Bubbles, but will it be enough in the end? You see Fork Lightning coming out. There's a stop. No! Behemoth, he took forever right there. It seemed like he stuttered a little bit, and he did not land in the end. So I'm not sure what that was about, but he took just a second too long right there.
Yeah.
And Bubbles was able to Homecoming Stone out, so lucky escape for him.
Yeah, lucky escape indeed. But that's unfortunate. And now I want to mention the full Savage Mace has been picked up on Draconis, and actually Shrunken Head is finally picked up on Dark Lady. That's really the start that they need to actually maybe get a win in these team fights. It's still going to be ridiculously hard, but I would love to see this Draconis activate that ultimate, activate the Geometer's Bane, the Shrunken Head with that Master's Call offensive ultimate. It would be so strong. Actually, well, not the Shrunken Head, but it would be so strong to watch that actually happen.
Yeah, it really would, and that definitely would be pretty ridiculous. By the way, I'm seeing right here the third ability from Draconis wasn't even called. The Fiery Barrage, his illusions were actually spawning it. I wasn't even aware of that, but they were spawning it and even doing some damage, so that's another thing that's definitely powerful about him. But yeah, the offensive Master's Call on top of him in those team fights could definitely be a thing to really remember here in this game. Glacius is going to be picked off here, as he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He still has that microphone open. He's not too happy with his team right now, I'm sure. Level 22 Draconis, farming 627 gold per minute. Again, you talked about it, though. Darkly, she continues to just get a little bit better as well, and she is also a very impressive farm. It's obviously a little skewed because of Draconis being so impressive, but she, too, is very, very good. She's got her Shrunken Head. You mentioned that, and that's definitely a possible game-changing item, but we at the same time, it's been very, very little action here for the last 10, 15 minutes even. I mean, Conger is going to be taken out right there in favor of the Hellborn team. And that's the first Conger kill, right? I'm thinking back to last game. So I believe that's the first Conger kill this game here. So, and of course, Token of Life will go to Draconis. He's going to run into an invisible Dark Lady here, but I don't think Dark Lady would dare open by herself, especially. So
yeah. Now just look at the very aggressive warding. You got a ward here coming out from Hellborn's side. That is ward here, right in the mid, right where Polywog is.
Yeah.
Right in the bottom, right here to the entrance of the jungle, and right here on the bottom rune too. They have the entire jungle warded out. They know exactly when they're leaving their base, except for the top lane. But very, very aggressive wards coming out. And there's another one at the top river, and it probably spotted just a little bit of jungle coming out from Mali, who, by the way, has his demonic breastplate on Keep of the Forest. So Mali's actually been doing really, really good for this Legion side.
yeah, like I said, I really think he's kind of been the sole factor, honestly, that's been keeping Q Squad, that's been delaying things long enough for the possibility of a comeback here for QsQ357. His play here has just been pretty solid. Now he's in a lot of trouble here. As soon as we talk about it, he gets that plague or the negative karma of, we start talking about you, start praising you, well, you get killed shortly after. So, sorry, Mallet.
It's that effect, man.
Yeah,
we seem to have it on everybody, especially me.
Kind of screwed you there.
All right, let's
I'll
try
slap
this.
trail for you.
No, let's try this. I think
Let's
Bubbles
see,
has been doing
Jonathan
really
fan. Jonathan fan. Your play has been superb. You've been amazing here. It's not gonna happen.
Find someone in the well, see if it really works. They get a Luna sniped. Oh, shit.
Yeah, a Luna snipe out of nowhere. Glacius is pushing the middle lane by himself. Why SQY is all the way up here is completely beyond me. What a support ward bitch Glacius is doing that far up, and lo and behold, a free kill happens.
0-6-0.
Yeah, that just made no sense to me. But anyways, they're going to push the middle lane, or top lane even, and they do take the secondary tower, and the secondary tower at the bottom lane is also being pushed up by Q Squad, which they will also get. But they need to worry about their base, because you look at the base, it's starting to be pressured here from Master of Arms pounding into the tower. Draconis is here, level 23, by the way.
God.
3 levels higher than that Dark Lady over there on the Legion side. So yeah, just a big, big dragon that is. He is going to fall back. He has post haste, by the way. He actually sold his Steam boost.
And another 2K.
For post haste. And another 2,000 gold. No big deal. They're going to set up for a jump here. We'll see if QsQ starts to extend a little bit. I don't think they are, though. They're going to play very passive, as they really should. It's a smart play by them. And we're going to have a little case of knocking on the door here from PUDG. We'll see if Q Squad reacts.
Yeah, definitely. I just can't get over how much farm he has, honestly. He's getting up almost close to that 700 gold per minute. And I'm really, again, I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping for an offensive master call on this Draconis, because it would be so fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, there's a chance that it could. I'm sure Master Farms is just keeping that in mind. I'm curious if he looks to save for the defensive purpose, though, or if he goes offensive with it. But it does seem like the offensive purpose would be absolutely insane on Draconis. But anyways, he does have a token of life for just under 4 minutes now, remember. So really this is going to be, and especially with that Savage Mace attacking uphill, he doesn't care. This tower is going to fall with this next creep wave right here, pending QsQ doing something themselves. Remember, by the way, Dark Lady picks up a Brutalizer. Wow. That's not an item that you see every day. Draconis in the front lines. Here we go in the background. Polywire Priest jumps. Who is that? As Master of Arms actually in comes Behemoth with the counter. The Keeper of the Force ultimate going off. But Draconis has Cataclysmic Assault activated. Look at the fiery barrage just going all over the place. However, it's not enough for any kills just yet. Dark Lady's chasing Master of Arms. Has 3 kills so far in favor of the Legion team. But Dark Lady's going to end up dropping. Nice Storm Spirit at the last second surviving. But in the end, he will fall. Draconis now holding his ground. Remember, he has a token of life. The Blazing Flight is doing damage to this tongue-tied Polywire Priest. You see the Song of the Sea Nuke is just out of range, actually. And Draconis will survive as a result. In fact, he turns around right there. Hat trick coming out for TRA, and he wants more, actually. Oh, man, that was looking so good from Q Squad. Great initiation.
Yeah.
Great job by Keeper of the Forest, but in the end, Draconis just a little bit too strong.
It was a really, really good initiation, really, really good thought. They were all on the same exact page. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they actually executed it really, really well. But it's just unfortunate. I mean, Draconis is just way too farmed right now. That's really the problem right now. And after that, another 2,500 gold pulled up after that. So he's got 4,500 gold just ready to use at his disposal. And he can't even buy anything right now because his items are full with that token. So
True,
he's gonna happily. I think they're just gonna march up right now. The tree ultimate is on cooldown. It is a relatively short cooldown though at level 3. It's 100 seconds. So they're still gonna have all their ultimates ready and available. But nonetheless, I think they need to use this token. They should just march up right away, and that looks like what they're doing right now. They're all gonna just kind of group up, march up down that up that top lane, I should say, and just use that token.
Yeah, he is level 25 as well. By the way, Keeper of the Force has 51 armor right now. I find that absolutely ridiculous. He has a Demonic Breastplate, Plated Greaves, a Plate Mail, and of course his armor buff on top of that. So 51 armor. He's looking at, what is that, 75%? Yeah, 75.6% physical damage reduction.
That is crazy.
He is he's literally a tank here for the Legion team. So, okay, though, things are calming down. What do you make of this Basher pickup from Dark Lady?
It's good against heroes with Shrunken Head, because that's the only one of the only things that can actually lock him down. Things like Basher, things like Frostwolf Skull, and actually look at the setup we have coming out from this Legion side. Very interesting positioning, but especially Glacius, who doesn't have like a porter.
Oh, here we go, though. Jumps are happening. Dark Lady's jumped by the Hellborn team. Storm Spirit's going to be used. The Golden Dragon has appeared, and you see the auto attacks. He's trying to take out Dark Lady, but Dark Lady will get the kill on a Master of Arms, and now he's chasing Witchslayer. Actually,